All right, Nam Academy video, we're going to talk about a very important, controversial thing called rock bottom. The reason it's controversial is because some people will say that you don't need it. AA will tell you that it absolutely is needed in order to sort of get there. The sort of modern psychology world will tell you that no, anyone can change at any time, and it's kind of so. This concept of rock bottom is very, very important because ultimately, rock bottom. Rock bottom. Let's call it rock bottom. There we go. Okay. So I don't know what rock bottom is, but rock bottom is when you get to the bottom of the road. Okay, rock bottom is like your boulder of life has kind of come, and you're now the lowest point you're ever gonna go in your life. The reality is life goes like this. Just when you think you're at the lowest point, yeah, it's not quite low enough. And then you go to the next lowest point. Surely this is my rock bottom, and then it goes down. And so rock bottom is really the lowest point in your life. That's what rock bottom is. It may not be the point in life where you've lost everything, because it's going to be different for every person. Some people, they can hit rock bottom when they have all their wealth, but they've maybe just lost one thing. And they say, whoa, this is crazy. I can't keep living my life this way. I got to make a big change. Other people have to become homeless on the street. Other people, homeless on the street's not a big deal. Happy to live there. They have to lose even more. Some people, they never hit rock bottom in this lifetime. Rock bottom is very, very different for different people. And so I think the Nam Academy today is about, what is this about? What is it about rock bottom that is helpful in producing change? So rock bottom is a catalyst for major change. I should say major willingness to change. So last time, or a couple of times ago, we talked about contempt prior to investigation. So we talked about how when we dismiss ideas before we've even looked at them, that's the leading cause of ignorance, and it's the leading cause of stuck recovery. We think we know what that's about. We're not going to go down that road because we think we know. So we stay ignorant. We continue to suffer. We continue to slide along. And any one of these points, you could have gone up, but nope. You could have gone up, nope. Could have gone up, nope. Rock bottom is when you make a fundamental decision to change everything. Recovery is simple. So one guy said it like this. He said it really beautifully. He said, recovery is easy. You just got to change one thing. Everything. Just got to change one thing. It's got to change everything. If your life sucks, it's not going to be a little tweak. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's going to offend people, and I'm sorry. But if your life's not where you want it to be, it's rare, and you are seriously symptomatic, you have problems, jail sentences, you're burnt out at work. I used to be the scheduler at the hospital for doctors, and doctors would come to me and they would say, yeah, you know what, I'm burning out. I think, just modify my schedule here. Don't give me as many night shifts, don't give me this, don't give me that. And in my head, I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. I know where this is going. Because where this is going is, okay, I make that modification. Oh, yeah, okay, one few. And then that's good. Oh, thank you, Dr. Gill, thank you. And a month or two later, oh, I can't do that either. Can I just make this little change? This is going to do it for sure. Okay. little bit. Yeah, a couple of months later, I just can't do night shifts at all. If I just get rid of the night shifts, that'll be fun. Okay. A couple of months later, I just can't do this work anymore. As soon as they say the first thing, I know what's coming, because the cause of burnout has nothing to do with schedule. It has a small part, okay? There's certain schedules like the paramedics, 4 on, 2 days, 2 nights, 4 off, 2 days, 4, and that's gonna mess your brain up for sure. But chances are most people who are needing small adjustments at work to address burnout, actually things aren't very good at home. Over busy, a lot of guilt, no self-therapy practice to speak of. But they just want the modification, they want the easy thing, right? So when the first schedule starts like burning them out, they have an option, they have a choice, but they don't make it. They take maybe I can just change this little thing. And then they think that's going to do it, and then they start getting better, and then they have a choice too, to look at their problem holistically. That's what, people think NOM is holistic recovery. It's like, just smoke pot, microdose of mushrooms, yeah. Actually, that's not what holistic recovery is. Holistic recovery is looking at every aspect of your life and being willing to change everything. That's holistic recovery. And if you do holistic recovery, and you're willing to change everything, interesting thing is you don't have to change as much as you think. You have to become willing, but then a lot of things just naturally kind of happen. And if you don't become willing, you'll slide down to the next step, and what's considered rock bottom is the point in life where you actually make a decision. And that happens in what I call the time and space that we call a nexus. A nexus is when many things come together. You've heard the stars align, right? Have you heard that? Stars align, sare tare, arrangement which ho jande. And then like once in like 1,000 years, there's like that. Have you seen that? Or once in 175 years, a comet comes, and then it's gone. It's not going to come again. Have you heard of that? Right. So the thing is that when the situations in life align, different factors align in a person's life, there's a time period where everything's together. You can make a change. But what's going to happen if you wait too long? Everything's going to go to a separate way. That time period is what we call a nexus. And it will come together again. No one knows how long. No one knows if that's in this lifetime for you. But it'll always come together again. And then it'll go apart. It could be a space thing. It could be a time thing. It could be both. This is called a nexus. A nexus of change. So a change, the important thing is, when life starts to suck, when life is really good, do you think you're interested in changing much? You got money in the bank, you got a spouse, you got kids, no one's complaining. Are you really willing to look at your spirituality? Are you willing to look at yourself in the mirror? No. Because looking in the mirror is going to mean you're going to have bad dreams. You're not going to sleep the next day, and you got to work. You think to yourself, why would I? I got a job, I got money. Yeah, it's not perfect, but take a drink, it's fine. So, wise people will wake up. When I was the scheduler, after making all these back adjusting being the manager means that someone said something funny to me. When you're the manager, everyone's issues become your issues. That's what I learned. when you're the boss, everyone's issues become your issues because you can't just that's just how it is. And so when I started feeling the burnout, I said to myself, wow, I had some nights where I couldn't get sleep at night. I was handling a complaint against a doctor or something, and I was like reviewing it, and I was really struggling. I couldn't, for the first time ever, I like went all night without sleeping. And then I said to myself, this is crazy. This is crazy town. I didn't wait until I started drinking. I didn't wait until I started really messing things up. But for me, that was a rock bottom moment. Absolutely, where I made a decision. That's when I got deeper into yoga. That's when I got deeper into spirituality. That's when, all these other things. It actually started in med school, that one. But the thing is, these times in life only come sometimes. When all the forces in your life arrange, your mom becomes just nice enough. Maybe your sister's doing therapy. Maybe your wife's kind of softened up a little. Maybe the creditors that you owe lots of money to are having a good day and they might be willing to forgive stuff. It's all part of this aligning. And at NAM, we see this. We house people. We see things come together, but do they stay together? Nothing stays together. The only permanent thing in life is change. Life is always changing. So when people come to me, some people that come to me, yeah, Doc, I want recovery, but it can't affect my license. I want recovery, but I can only do it in the evenings. Once a week, on this day, from 6 to 7, I'm not going to accommodate that. That person he's on the up point. He hasn't gotten to that point, and so I'm a lazy guy. You hear me say that. I'm lazy. I wait until people are at a down point, and then I offer them a choice. And if they don't have a choice, then I just... All right. Because I'm not like God. I can't align everything in life. All I can do is offer a choice point, technology, tools, awarenesses, when all the stars are aligned. That's a sacred thing. That's a fate, destiny thing. Hey, likhya hunda. Kaun pahunchuga? Who's going to come? It's written. What I don't know, so NAM, and really any treatment center, any place that's sacred in your life, any time in your life, could be a nexus. It just won't stay. And you know what, when things go, you don't know if that's going to be the time you die. Because, everyone laughs about relapse. We had a community member die recently. No one ever thought he was going to die because he would just relapse lots and always come back. Didn't come back this time. He had plenty, so it's not like this happens once in a while. God or whatever you believe in is very benevolent, right? It's always aligning. Many times throughout life, it's not like you have one. There's thousands of periods in your life where you can choose. Hundreds of thousands. The Sri Singh Sahib, Yogi Ji, he would say, everyone will meet their teacher at least once in their life. What he's really saying is that everyone will have an opportunity to enter a nexus. Nexuses have a certain energy to them. Our place got broken into. Would you say that started a bit of a nexus here? Yeah, it did. It totally reset the energy of NAM in a good way. It took time, it took energy, it took effort. Best thing that could have happened to NAM is someone's broken and stole a bunch of our laptops. because it opened a nexus. But if we're ready to take advantage of that, then it's good. Otherwise, it's annoying as heck. You gotta replace this, and a lot of times that nexus is organizations will break. This isn't a fun. You think this is a fun time? Is it a fun time being in a nexus? Because I assure you, you're probably in one if you're sitting in this room. It's not. It's a time of extraordinary stress. And what is addiction? Addiction is a stress-induced defect of the mind. Meaning, it's not the cause of addiction, but stress will expose the fault lines in your foundation, so it'll drive them apart. When you get stressed, it'll like break a family, it'll break a mind, it'll break. And so what I want you to just remember is that nexuses are sacred. Why they're sacred is because to change anything in your mind takes energy. You want to heat your food? Well, do you need energy to heat your food? You need energy to heat your food, right? No energy. What are you going to do? Hug your food? And it's one way to do it. It's gross, but you could do it that way. You'll transfer your energy. Without energy, nothing changes. That's a law of thermodynamics. If you put in energy, the system changes. If you don't put in energy, nothing changes. The earth is as it is because the sun is constantly putting in energy. It's driving the weather. It's driving the day. It's driving the oceans are shifting because the moon is there, and it's kind of giving us gravity. You think your recovery doesn't need energy? You know how much weight it takes to blow up Hiroshima? I think it was like about this much. Less. As a city, Hiroshima. Nuclear bomb. Blew it up. Just a tiny bit of energy. Blew up a whole city. Hundreds of thousands of people died. Just this much energy. Yeah, you're going to say this is uranium. Well, actually, what we know is fusion can do the same thing with a lot less. How heavy are you? Are you heavier than this? Probably. How much energy is in you? Lots. So ask yourself, if you are that, yeah, I know, eh? If you're that, if matter has that much energy, and if you're really in a messed up place in life, you think you can change easy? You really need a lot of energy to change. You're an atheist, you want, and your path is to become spiritual, you're going to need energy to fuel that. That's not going to randomly happen in your life. That's going to happen at the confluence of a lot of factors. When you become open-minded, when you have the right peer group, when you encounter a teacher or a couple of them, something resonates with you. You meet a saint, like these are the things. You need energy. And that's what's given at nexus points in your life. How do you know a nexus point is there? It's easy. Because life doesn't seem like it has any options left. Life really is painful, intolerable. You don't think it can go on. This is a nexus point. We see lots of people come, they're not serious. It's not their point. And they don't stick around. Nam is a nexus point because people come and change here. There's an energy of change. It's easier to change here than it is outside in the parking lot. And if you're not in a nexus point, do you think you're going to like it being in a place like this? No, because it's stressful. People who are not quite at rock bottom will not tolerate the stress, the energy, and they'll just find reasons to go, and that's okay. I never force anybody, because you know what? There's lots of points in life where change can happen. I might say a prayer, I hope this guy doesn't die, or lady doesn't die, but there's little we can do. So if you're off work for 3 months, instead of being in a hurry to get back to work, think about it. The opportunity to change only comes about so long. Who knows how much longer it's going to be before it comes again. And this is not just true of people in recovery, this is true of employees. NAM as a nexus point for change, for employees. I tell people that at the beginning of employer. Before anyone ever works with me, I say it's really hard working here or with me. Because it's true. We demand change. We put stress. We bring factors together. People really got to choose it, and that's why we have a good staff. People come, they go, some stay, some leave. A person in recovery, a wise person in recovery will go. An AA meeting is a really good nexus point. Some people say, oh, I walked away from, this is a common one, I walked away from the meeting wanting to drink. Chances are, there's actually, I've been to several meetings, there's good energy at every meeting. But are you ready for it? If you're not ready for it, you will absolutely take the stress without any benefit. Which of course is going to make you want to drink. Don't blame the meeting though. Meaning, the readiness has to be there. That's why AA talks about rock bottom. That's why AA insists. If someone's not ready, don't badger them. That's why AA talks about attraction, not promotion. Because if I go out and advertise, hey, everyone come to NAM, we're going to heal your things. Hey, you down the street, just on your way to work, come stop in at NAM. Is that going to yield success for any of those people? No, they don't want it. They don't need it. Maybe they need it. They don't want it. People have to want it. And the only people who are going to want it are the miserable. So misery is a really good sign of a choice coming up. And if you take it, life will go up. That's what the promises say, the 12 promises. The good things that are going to happen. And it happens very suddenly, it's very fast. When you start going, because in a nexus, they say, we will suddenly realize, that all these things are fixed. Because your problems aren't that big. When you have a lot of energy, they can get fixed in a hurry. A new job shows up just when you need it, or your boss grows a brain and starts treating you with respect, or, something happens that's just miraculous. Because that'll happen. That'll happen in these times in your life if you take them. Some people, these points, they come and go. It could be every month. It could be once a year. It could be once every 5 years. It could be once in your lifetime. I don't know. That's beyond my pay grade. But the thing is they come and go. And if you're in one, you should take the time. A wise person will do like what I did. I didn't wait for my life to fall apart. I didn't wait for getting into really negative things. I decided to make a change quickly. Rock bottom is what you define. Have you hit the point where you're willing to change everything inside that you have? You don't have to know what you're changing it to, but are you willing to change? Are you willing to redefine your relationship with yourself, with Source? Are you willing to let go of how you were programmed as a child? You don't have to do it, you have to be willing to do it. What is required is only willingness. They say that in AA. And it's true. That's true of any path, any spiritual recovery path. And all paths to recovery, folks, are spiritual. I'm sorry if that offends you, but that is my opinion. And that's what I've seen. But that doesn't have to be spirituality as you've experienced it and has left you skeptical. It can be as you wish it to be. All you need is the willingness. Willingness plus Nexus creates miracles. People ask me all the time, why do I do what I do? A nurse, actually, he was saying, I was talking to another doctor about you, Dr. Gill. We think you're kind of crazy. Like, how do you do this full time, all the time? No, the simple answer is I'm willing to be in a Nexus. I'm willing to let that energy come in and fix my problems. I'm willing to admit that I don't know what the heck I'm doing and that I make lots of mistakes. Because I'm willing, stuff changes. You see what makes this stressful is you. You make this stressful by holding on to old things. You think about it, right? You think like you're kind of imagine like a leaf, right? Flowing in the wind, it's like kicking and fighting. I don't want to go. So like, what's the wind gonna do? It's gonna put stress, right? That leaf's gonna be broken apart by the stress of the wind. It's still gonna go. It's either gonna go as a whole, or it's gonna go in pieces. But it's gonna go. It has to go. The wind's too powerful. Question is do you go with grace? If you go with grace, a Nexus, there's no better place to be. No better place to be than a Nexus. I'm the luckiest guy. Because you're all changing, I get to change too. If you meet a Nexus with the grace, with an attitude of surrender, with open-mindedness, it'll take care of you. It'll fix your financial problems. It'll fix your spouse problems. It'll bring your kids back to you. It'll change. And so recovery is about our relationship to these periods in life, in time. I call that a Nexus. So if you're watching one of these videos, you have an opportunity to treat yourself wherever you're at. You could be falling down here. Maybe you decide you want to go back up. You're done. And a rock bottom point is what you decide. And you know what's going to happen? As soon as you make that decision, the Nexus will open up in some way, shape, or form. It has to. When you're willing. So like when I was burning out, I talked to this yoga conference is right there. It was like 10 days away, and I just made a last minute change to go. As soon as I decided I was willing to go and deal with some stuff, bang, the opportunity opened, everything 1, 2, 3, 4, done. All you have to do is willing. But you know what? The universe will slap you. This is called the universal slap in the face. And it gets harder and harder and more lethal, and at some point it kills you. So you can be wise. You don't have to wait to lose everything. But everything will be taken from you if you wait too long. But you can, at any point, you can say, yeah, you know what? I don't care about my truck license, or I don't care about my job. I don't care about the mortgage I have to pay or the money I have to send home to India. I don't care about any of that because I know if I'm dead, none of that matters anyways. If you adopt that attitude, a nexus will open up very immediately. And you'll hear. I say the same things to people. And one time they hear. 5 other times they don't. I repeat myself like again and again and again. So you can attract these circumstances just with your willingness to change. And if you don't have it, you can pray for it. You can set intentions for it. It'll come. It's guaranteed to come. Yeah, spiritual mumbo jumbo. Well, try it and see. So that's all I had to say on this subject of Nexus. Any comments or questions? I invite even skepticism. That's okay. Make sense to you? You buy it? So what he's saying is when he got all to the bottom, someone helped pick him up. Who sent that someone? He's asking. So what it is that when you become willing, you don't have to tell anybody. Someone will show up. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So the thing is that I'm a very evidence-based person. I go by the evidence. I experiment in the spiritual things all the time. I don't believe anything without experimenting it. And I've seen so many obvious, clear examples of when people become willing and the nexus opens up. There has to be a law around it. It has to be true. It's like as good as gravity. You become willing, just as this pen falls. Do you like need to see me drop this pen to tell you that it's going to fall? You know it's going to fall. If I drop it, I could show you. But do you really need me to show you? I mean, you know gravity. You know it works, right? Laws of the universe are like that. This is one of them. The law of attraction, I think is what it's called. When you become willing to change big changes and change makers will come to you. It's as good as gravity. So whatever, I don't know what you did before you met with us. So something you did, and it worked, didn't it? And there's like millions of people like Noam and things around in the world. It's like dime a dozen, so many. So you just have to take the step of willing, just willing. Not knowing how, but just willing. AA is very clear on that, and they're very wise on that. Just a willingness will attract everything else. Yes?
I have been experiencing all these last 2 weeks, like there is major changes happening. It is stressful, but big changes are happening like so fast that I cannot even think. So, but yeah, like I was willing and open for a while for the chances, and seemed like it worked out. So yeah.
But did it work out just like that?
Yeah, like as I said, like
but
2 weeks, so many changes.
But before the 2 weeks, did it seem like the struggle would never end at some point? It was pretty hard, wasn't it? Don't think it's easy. Oh yeah, I just became willing. Actually, what will happen is as you come in, what's going to happen is you're going to get tested. Before you enter, you will be tested heavily. It'll look hopeless. He'll be like, nothing is happening and life is falling apart. Where's this? And you'll have 50 million excuses to exit. But you don't. You stick with it. then you enter. It's not free. You can't get into this for free. You will go through periods of hopelessness. Long periods, short periods, but never free. Anyone who tells me, oh yeah, I was an alcoholic and I just kind of got better. Didn't do no program, didn't do nothing. Now, spontaneous spiritual awakenings do happen. Anyone who has one will tell you exactly what that looks like and you'll know it. Vast majority, they've hid it away, they've dissociated, they've done something. Started sex addiction, I don't know. Right? And nothing just goes away. To go away, you need a lot of energy. That energy is going to be very obvious. That energy is going to be very obvious. And so, so it's the dedication to the time before that, when nothing was changing, but you kept coming. You kept doing your own work, your self-therapy practice. That's the initiation. And then when it starts to happen, it'll be like, wow, I wish I did this like 10 years ago. People who go through it, they'll say things like this: I thank God I'm an alcoholic. It gave me the opportunity to recover. And now I know a life like I've never known before. Yeah, people who are in it aren't going to think that. You try being here, they're going to say. But actually, that doesn't change the truth. And this is the truth. Is that many, not one, alcoholics, they're thankful. Once they've gone through it and they've transformed, they are thankful that everything came together as it did to produce the willingness to change. Again, that's one of those things. I've not seen it once. I've seen it so many times that it's like gravity. And so, how much more evidence you want? Oh, I got to see it for myself. Okay, waste your 10 years, 20 years. Or just act. And here's the last thing that I'll say. People in the West are very choosy. Oh, it's got to be the right place. It's got to be the right Nexus. I don't want that one. I want this one. I want this book. I want this teacher. I want this thing. I want that thing. And you waste years and years and years as you get older. I echo this advice throughout Nam Academy. Journeys are intuitive. You just take what's given to you. And if it's a dead end, you'll know very quickly and you move on. Don't choose too much. Don't be too choosy. If something's for you, then just do it. And do it as long as it serves you, and then go something else. Something else will open. That's a journey. A journey is like, you just go with the flow. Sampling will get you nowhere. Any journey, you can say, okay, I'm going to walk this path 20 feet. No, don't like it. Backtrack. Let's go this path 20 feet. 5 years later, you haven't really moved. Right? You got to go to one path, and sure, if it leads to a dead end, but maybe that'll lead you a little bit further along. Another road will open up. So that's another aspect of that journey that you're talking about. You committed. Do whatever you do it with the commitment that I'm in this. So if the doctor says, if I say, you should do 6 weeks of programming, and you come for a week and it's like, yeah, okay, doc, I know it. I know how to flash walk, I know. Just stick with it. Finish. Commit. Do what you committed to. Nexuses demand commitment. That's what's demanded of you. And if you show commitment, the miracles will follow. If we are painstaking in this phase of our development, that's what AA says, and that's what they mean. They mean, if you're committed to doing the work, then we'll be amazed before we are halfway through, because it's that powerful. So that's all I wanted to share today. It's an important subject on how change happens in life, and it happens in this way. So change happens in ebbs and flows. And when you come up, it's not like you come up, you go up like this. And every up is an opportunity to go back down, if you wish. You go down this way, you come up this way. Okay? Thank you for listening.